Good morning, Jacob. Good morning, Melanie and Cheyenne. We are all set up. I am just going to send out the link and then we'll wait for friends to show up. Roll on in. And posting it on Google Classroom. All right, link is posted. I am happy to report that we are up to 12 videos on FlipGrid. We have increased from yesterday. That's amazing. Super awesome. Alrighty. David, I do not know when we're going back to school. I believe I heard on the news this morning that in order for social distancing guidelines to be lifted, we have to go 28 days without a new case. Don't quote me on that, but that's what Channel 8 was saying this morning. So we'll see if that holds. We have to keep in mind, too, that China just lifted their social distancing guidelines, and they've been in lockdown since December. So December, January, February, March, April, it was like 5 months. So, I mean, we'll see what happens here, but... So, unlike what we were doing in class, because this is all going to be online, our rate of moving towards something new will probably be slower. Thankfully, there's over 700 Cinderella stories to choose from, Jacob, so there's lots we could potentially read. And if anyone speaks Arabic, I might be needing some help. I did find an Islamic Cinderella, but there are phrases in it that are Arabic, and I don't know how to pronounce them, and I'd really rather not butcher them. So yeah, I may be sending some phrases to my Arabic speakers to get some help on pronunciation. Fret not, Jacob. We're not going to read 700 stories. I'm just letting you know there is a nice diverse amount. All right, let's see. Has anyone spoken to either one of the Alis to figure out where they are and what the situation is? I think they're in the apartments. I'm just not having luck getting any information back. All right, we'll give it one more minute and then we'll go ahead and take attendance. Any questions before we get started? It looks like we have, again, about 12 kids who were on, whatchamacallit? Boom. Having a moment. FlipGrid. Ha. So we had 12 kids on FlipGrid, 2 friends who did responses. So excellent job to my 2 friends who did responses to people's videos. It's amazing. So we'll give it until 10:10, and at 10:10 we'll take some roll. So keep in mind, I'm going to attempt, we'll see how it goes. I'm going to attempt to do a progress report over the weekend, so that way parents can actually see, are you doing Prodigy every single day? Are you getting that green light every single day? Are you leveling up within CodeCombat? Are you actually turning in your work? All that good stuff. Yes, DJ. We probably won't be taking tests, Melanie. We probably will be just solely relying on the work that you guys turn in. So if it's, you know, not our usual high quality, then that's going to be the grades. Aw, thank you for asking, DJ. He is doing well. Him and my mom are rallying at the grocery store. He's not super thrilled about having to wear a mask because he's got a bunch of facial hair, but he's doing it. So Ashley, if you can't get past a level, watch the videos, use the hints. The only way that you're going to be able to progress is if you're watching the videos and going from there. Morning, Julia. Oh, yeah. There was a key situation. We fixed it. Yes, all things have germs. All things have germs. You have germs on you right now and bet you didn't know it. There's a whole microbial universe. Alrighty, so I'm going to go through and take some roll. Here we go. So starting off at the top, I saw Rara, I saw Aya, Aiden, Jacob, I saw Ethan F, I saw Adrian, Melanie, Devin, DJ, RC, Katrina, Ashley. I saw Riley, David, Natalia, Cheyenne, Ethan Z, and Faiz. Did I miss anybody? Because I'm just going off of my chat box. Oh, Julia. I saw Julia. Melanie, the class code is located on the Google Classroom. It's in Class Dojo. And I think I sent it out twice yesterday. Good morning, Kiki. Good morning, Mahmood. Mahmood, I need you to dojo me because I need to access the Ollies, and I don't know how to except through you. So I need you to message me through Class Dojo, dude. If you are currently watching, but you can't type in the text box, just send me a Class Dojo so that I can give you a +2. Or if you end up watching this later and you're not in my live chat right now, when you're watching the video, have a parent please send me a dojo message so that I can make a mark that you've watched it. Thank you, Mahmood. I just can't get a hold of either one of the Alis. And you're my only direct link to both of them. Just like Fatima's my link to Maya. No. So now that we've taken roll, and if anyone else comes in late, just let me know that you're here and I will mark you off. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we're doing today. Spin moves. Alrighty, so here's what we're looking at today. We're keeping our conversation in our chat box now completely academic. Other conversations we're going to go ahead and close out on. So here's what we're looking at. So you're going to get the green light in reflex math. You're going to play Prodigy for 30 minutes. We're going to do one read through for reading today. We're going to be reading a story from Mexico. It was written in 2002. So it was 2,000 years later or after the story we read from yesterday, which is kind of fun. Then you're going to do the writing portion. Keep in mind for the writing portion, I'm still expecting quality. I know you guys are working from home. However, we've been writing in this style for a very long time, so the quality still needs to be present. FlipGrid, you're doing day 4. And then for science, you're going to do 2 levels again from ClassCakeMix or from CodeCombat. If you're stuck, you either need to message me or watch the videos. The videos are going to teach you the lingo that you need. Any questions before we get started? Alrighty. So far, what countries have we read Cinderella stories from? As of right now, what stories have we read? Not their titles, just their countries. So we're looking for countries. Good, Katrina. We've got Germany. We did China. Egypt. And today, we're going to Mexico. So we have gone to 3 different continents. We've done Europe, Asia, Africa, and now we make it to North America. So here we go. Again, our review. We're going to be looking for our 3 archetypal characters. We're going to be looking for that Cinderella type. That is our damsel in distress. We're looking for that thoughtful, kind, compassionate, and obedient individual. That's the cultural embodiment of beauty. Someone who gets help from a magical being, who ensures hardships, and chooses to always see the good in people. We're also going to be looking for that evil stepmother or wicked stepmother type character. That person who replaces a parent figure in the story, who tends to be cruel and mean, who oftentimes and very obviously chooses their own children over their stepchild. They're often and frequently motivated by money, and they just want to kind of climb that ladder. They're envious of the Cinderella character, very oppressive of him or her, and they typically have a low rate of survival at the end. And if they do end up living, they don't have a happy ending. And then we also have that fairy godmother type character. Remember, that fairy godmother type character is going to show up when they are needed. They may not always be present. They may or may not be magical. Usually they're very helpful. They can grant wishes or help aid. They don't expect anything in return. They're very selfless. They help that Cinderella type character really feel better about themselves, offering support, solving problems. They're typically very wise and clever. And again, they're mostly there to be a problem solver. So in addition to the archetypes, these are also other devices that we are going to be looking for. They may or may not be present, and that's okay. So they may or may not have a lost object. There's probably going to be a rags to riches storyline, again, going from poor and oppressed to being relatively well off, either in the social distancing department, or not social distancing, social ladder climbing, or getting wealthy. From there might be a rule of 3. There might be 3 individual nights. There might be 3 dresses. There might be 3 tasks, but sometimes there's a rule of 3. There might be a time limit. Sometimes there's that whole bell striking at midnight that sort of offers a limitation. There might be magic involved. There might not be. Usually there's a dress. Again, there might not be. It might be something completely different, but there's usually something special, and of course that happy ending. So we are going to be reading Adelita today. This is actually a picture book. It was written in 2002 by Tomie dePaola. So we are going to go ahead and we're going to get started here. My friends who just strolled in, I did see Kira and I saw Damien. I have marked you off. So I'm going to do my best with my Spanish translations today. Again, I'd like to do my Islamic Cinderella. I just need help pronunciating the Arabic. So we're going to do just what we did yesterday. You guys are going to be responsible for doing unknown words at home. Questions, comments, connections at home. And then we are going to do the prompt evidence in class right now. From what I've seen, remember that whatever we do in class, you are responsible for also having on your paper. So your grade on here is going to be determined by what quality you're turning in. Okay? So right on the bottom, we'll go ahead and put our Cinderella type. Stepmother type. Fairy godmother type. And again, any connections that you guys are making to other stories we'll do in purple. Okay, Ray, yes, I did get you. All right, we ready to get started? Thumbs up if we're ready to go. We'll read some Adelita. Thumbs up if we're ready. Once I see those thumbs up in the box, we'll get rolling. Beautiful. Alrighty. So we'll go ahead and let's number these first. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that way we know what we're reading. There are 3 pages total. And again, all I've done is taken a picture book and we've shortchanged it so that way we're able to read it and not have to like do pages upon pages upon pages. Okay? Here we go. So this is Adelita. Había una vez en Mexico. Once upon a time in Mexico. There lived a kind and prosperous merchant and his wife Adela. One day she shared the joyful news that she was expecting a baby, and her husband Francisco said, "Me hace muy feliz saberlo. I am so happy." He sent for his nursemaid Esperanza. Her name meant hope, and she had taken care of Francisco himself when he was small. The kind old woman arrived shortly, and all seemed well. Then tragedy struck. Soon after Adela delivered a healthy baby girl, she died. Francisco was heartbroken, but he and Esperanza raised the child. They named her after her mother, calling her little Adela, or Adelita. The years passed and Adelita grew up, and La Casa de Mercado se llenó de alegría. The Mercado house was full of happiness. Adelita had all the love in the world, even making friends with the local boy who had lived close by. Sadly, her happiness would only last but for a short while. Before long, her only friend brought word that he was moving, which saddened her heart. This was followed by the day when Francisco spoke with his daughter and her maid, telling them, "Les tengo noticias. I have some news for you." He told them that he was going to remarry and that the lady's name was Señora Michaela de la Fortuna. Those of her daughters were Valentina y Dulce, and they were close to Adelita's age. The girl was happy at first, but after the new stepsisters paid their first visit, Esperanza said, "Que fríos son. They're cold ones." And the names of Valentine and Candy surely did not fit their temperaments. Nonetheless, the wedding took place and the new family settled down. Times were different, but Adelita's father still found time for importantes momentos juntos, special moments together. Still, Esperanza worried. She did not like the way the stepmother always favored her children over her new husband's daughter. But Adelita told her, "Es natural. It's natural." But tragedy struck again. Francisco caught a chill, and before anything could be done, he died. And now the spiteful Señora showed her true colors. Adelita was sent to a room in the attic, and her clothing now taken by the other girls. Valentina and Dulce mocked her constantly, with no care for her feelings of loss. She retreated to the kitchen to Esperanza. Because she knew that Esperanza loved her, her heart stayed warm as the fire in the hearth. Soon she learned to cook as well as Esperanza, and as the elder lady moved more slowly, Adelita took over much of the work. All right, my friends. So let's go ahead and do Cinderella first. Give me a paragraph and what you see in terms of a character trait. Yes, the stepmother did not care about Cinderella. Morning, Audric. So what do we see? Paragraph what and what do we see? Paragraph what and what do we see? Riley, Kira, I need paragraphs, please. Tell me where I'm going. Good. So Ray going 4. She's being mocked and sent to the attic. Very good. So this would be an example. Of being treated poorly. paragraph 3. Good job, Julia. So Cinderella gets a stepmother. Good job, Ra. Good job, Aya. So we've got loss of a family member. Damien, give me the paragraph. There we go. Kira got it. Paragraph 1. Mother passes. Oh. Beginning of paragraph 2. I believe that also happens in the Disney version. She loses both parents, new and old. I think it also happens in Ella Enchanted. Okay, anything else? I see in paragraph 4 that she has to do a lot of the chores. So I'm going to put responsible. Okay, so now let's do the stepmother type. What do you see for the stepmother type? So stepmother type. What do we see? For the stepmother type, I'll let you do either the stepmother directly or the step siblings, because you can kind of lump them all together. Okay, DJ, give me a paragraph. Where is that occurring? Remember, tell me where. You telling me where shows me that you know where the evidence is. Julia Good, what's in paragraph 3? Put it all together. So paragraph 4, Valentina mocked her constantly with no care for her feelings. So they're cold and inconsiderate. I can say that they are mean. Okay, so we can kind of double that one up too. Adelita was sent to her room. So we can kind of also say that because they treat her poorly, that is also a character trait of that. Good. So spiteful, Senora. Good, good, good. Anything higher up? Good job, RC. Give me a paragraph. 1, 2, 3, or 4. There is something in 3, if you can find it. There's something in 3. There is a stepmother trait in 3. And near the end of 2. See if you can find it. Good, good, good. What's in paragraph 3? What are we looking at? So I'm looking and seeing that the stepmother favored her children over Adelita. So favoring her children. Good, they're the cold ones. Does this mean that they're freezing cold all the time? What does that mean? So if we say that they're cold, what does that mean? Do they need a jacket? What does it mean if they are cold towards other people? Ooh, very good. Jacob, excellent. Cold-hearted. Means they lack feelings. Good. And then in paragraph 2, father gets remarried. I believe that's it. Do we have anything for a stepmother type yet? There's a hint at one, but you technically don't know yet. We'll have to come back. Okay. Any kind of connection that we can make to other Cinderella stories while we're here? Does anything happen here that also happens in other stories? Do you see any connections to either the German story, the Chinese story, the Egyptian story? Mother dies. Good. Remember, give me paragraphs, friends. Paragraphs. Use your paragraphs. So we want paragraph 2. So we've got loss of a family member. Paragraph 2, mother dies. Anything else? Any other connections? I'm looking at father remarrying. Senora finally showing her true colors. She goes from being at least somewhat tolerable to mean. And so again, when you turn in your work, it needs to look similar to what's on here, at least in terms of the amount that you're turning in. There are 2 stepsisters, and again, please remember to put in the paragraph that you're finding this. So paragraph 3. New stepsisters, and there are 2 of them. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the next page. Okay, here we go. To her horror, the cruel Senora noticed this and saw a way to save money. Declaring that since Esperanza was too old to work and Adelita now old enough to take over the job, so it would be. With that, she threw Esperanza into the street, deaf to her cries. But Adelita had little time to grieve. The sisters, Valentine and Candy, blossomed into a pair of vicious bullies. For Adelita, they seemed to take on new names, Maldad y Vinagre, meanness and vinegar. And so the grim and dreary years went by until one day La Señora announced that an invitation from the wealthy neighbors had been issued. Una fiesta en su hacienda. A party at their ranch to celebrate the homecoming of their son Javier. And that was not all. Se rumora, rumor has it, that he'll be looking for a wife. My, how those three conniving women began to plan, and my, how busy they kept Adelita. Finally, the night of the fiesta arrived. Adelita, alone at last, was overcome by her misery. She wept all the tears for all the sorrows she had endured. And that's when she heard a soft knock at the door. Who is it? Adelita asked. Soy yo, only me. It was Esperanza. She told the girl that she had come because of a dream she had. Un sueño, about the long-dead Adela. She hurried over to a corner. Mamacita, my little mother, Adelita whispered. While the girl washed and changed, old Esperanza brought her cart around to the front door. But the girl was terrified of what would happen should they got there, but the room fell silent. Who was the stunning woman? When Señor Gordillo asked her name, the girl said, I'm in disguise, with a twinkle and a sweet smile. Just call me Cenicienta, Cinderella. He was enchanted, but his son Javier was positively bewitched. So, what do you see? So the best I can do, guys, is go ahead and let me see if I can't switch to my phone. So give me a sec. Let me see if I can switch to my phone. Oh, is that better now? It seems to be working. My little notification went away. We good? I think we're good. Alrighty. Do I need to read it again? Are you guys okay? Thumbs up if we're good. Give me a sad face if you need me to read it again. Okay, cool. All right, so let's look for Cinderella types. So I'm going to put in 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's go ahead and find those traits for Cinderella. Remember, you want to say paragraph 4, what you see. So if you're going to respond, it's paragraph number like this. So that way I know what evidence you're looking for. So we're looking for Cinderella traits. What do you see? So Cinderella traits, what do we see? So for me, in paragraph 3, you know what? Let's do paragraph 2. Adelita is kept busy so that she cannot attend. Okay, what else do we see? Yep, paragraph 4, good job. She goes anyways. So our Cinderella is at the ball. Good. Good, so Cinderella's upset. So she's getting emotional, but she only does so when everyone else is gone. So she's upset about missing the ball. So who is it? Her fairy godmother shows up only when needed. So she has a fairy godmother, granted not magical. She just has a dream. Anything else? Cinderella type, anything else? Yes. Not there yet, but yes. All right, so let's go ahead and go to stepmother type. Okay, what do you see for stepmother type? What do you see for stepmother type? Uh-oh. What do we see for stepmother type? Remember, paragraph what? And what do you see? I'm looking at paragraph 1. That the step siblings became additionally mean. Good, so paragraph 2. So we can also say that they kept Adelita busy. That would be another mean and oppressive. Good. And I think that's it. So let's move on to that fairy godmother type character. Okay, what do you see? This one's a little bit trickier because now that we at least know that Esperanza is our fairy godmother type, you'll be able to kind of pinpoint exactly where this is occurring, but she's not magical. So what do you see? So I see in 3, only me for Esperanza. She shows up when needed, so the fairy godmother only shows up when needed to solve Adelita's problem. All right, so because of her dream results in a beautiful dress and shawl that was left by her mom. So because the girl cleaned up, Esperanza told her that no one would recognize her. So helps her be unrecognizable. Here. Okay. Any connections to any of the other Cinderella stories? Do we see any connections? Any connections? Good. So we got a dress. We have a dress. Anything else? Anything else that we see? So I'm seeing that there's a party invitation. Good. Julia, very good. Brought her cart makes me think of like a carriage. There's a prince. At least a prince-esque character. So a boy from a wealthy household. Okay, good. All right, so let's look at the last section. So this is our last page. So we'll read our last page and we'll go through Cinderella, Wicked Stepmother, and Fairy Godmother. Here we go. All evening he doted on her, bringing her refrescos in between the dances. But suddenly, as midnight drew near, she panicked. How could she explain who she was? Her stepmother would beat her and the guests would laugh. As the clock struck midnight, she ran swiftly out the door and was gone. Esperanza had waited for her, and together they flew home in the cart and hid the dress. Adelita was asleep when La Señora looked in on her. In the morning, shouts roused the girl. Her stepsisters and their mother were discussing the news that Javier was looking high and low for the mysterious girl from the fiesta. Just like in the fairy tale, sneered Valentina, only there was no zapatilla de cristal. There's no glass slipper. In order to help Javier find her, But he was on the way and would be in town hoy misissimo, this very day, said Doña Michaela. That's when Adelita had a great idea. She ran to the attic and, taking out her mother's rebozo from under her mattress, she hung it out the window and ran back downstairs, quick as a wink. When Javier rode down the street that afternoon on his horse, his heart leapt with joy. He dismounted and knocked on the door. Doña Michaela was waiting hopefully. "Ah, Señor Javier, pasale. Por favor, come in, please," she said. And Javier swept in and begged to see the beautiful girl. "Valentina Dulce, come here." "Señor Javier would like to meet you," she sang out, and in walked the sullen sisters. But Javier took one look and asked if there was another girl in the home. "There's no one else," Doña Michaela said. "Yes, there is," a voice said. "Are you looking for me, señor?" Javier recognized her at once, not only as his Cenicienta from the night before, but as Adelita Mercado Martinez, his childhood friend. "I'm so happy to have found you again," he declared, and asked for her hand from Doña Michaela. The selfish spinster longed to tell him no, but she was cowardly as well as cruel, and muttered, "We'll be honored, Señor Javier." And so Javier and Adelita were married, and Esperanza came to care for them. Javier looked at his beautiful friend, who was now his wife, and said, "Just like Cenicienta and her principe, her prince, we shall live muy felices por siempre, happily ever after." And they did. Alrighty, so Cinderella type. What do you see? So Cinderella type, what do you see? Excellent. Paragraph 4. Let's number these. 1, 2, 3, 4. They live happily ever after. So we've got that happy ending. Good, good, good. What else do we see? Cinderella traits, what else do we see? She winds up getting married. So she marries her prince character. DJ, I don't think that happens. Bom dia, Gui. Good morning. Welcome, welcome, sir. So we've got selfish step-siblings. They deny the presence of her. I feel like that's more of a stepmother trait, though, than a Cinderella. So what other Cinderella type do we have? So I have up here that as the clock struck midnight, she left. So she left the ball at a specific time. Paragraph 1. Deny is green because that's a stepmother trait. So she doesn't have a glass slipper, but she does have the shawl that she puts outside the window. So she has an identifier. Okay, so Julia, I'll take that one. So Julia said that Javier is looking for her, so we'll do that one. So the prince is looking for Cinderella. Okay, any other stepmother traits? Do we see any other stepmother traits? We've got the one. Any others that we see? We've got one in paragraph 3 so far for green. Anything else that we see for the stepmother? So I've got paragraph 4. The stepmother wanted to say no, but she was a coward. So cowardly side 1. But she wanted to be mean. So then I've got also paragraph 3. Trying to play it off that the stepsisters were who the prince was looking for. Heck. Okay, I think that's it. So anything for fairy godmother type. Anything for fairy godmother type. I do see one thing. It's in the first paragraph. See if you can find it. Fairy godmother type, what do you see? Yeah, that they waited for her. So Esperanza waits for her, and together they... I don't think it actually like flew. I think it's flew in the sense that they went real fast. This doesn't seem to have a magical component. So weighted. Get her safely home. Good. Alrighty, do we have any connections to other Cinderella stories? Any connections to other Cinderella stories? Remember, give me a paragraph and if you see anything else. Paragraph and if you see anything else. What do you see? So I'm seeing the clock striking midnight. So Damien, give me paragraph, bud. Where is that? So like I'm going to paragraph 1, where the clock struck midnight. Julia, good. Paragraph 4, getting married. What happens in paragraph 3, Audric? Remember, give me the whole thing together. It's good practice. It's called citing your information. So it's good practice. So Damien, I agree. Give me a paragraph, bud. Rah-rah, same thing. Give me paragraphs, guys. Tell me where I'm going. There you go, Rah-rah. Paragraph 4, happy ending, just like the other stories. Good, good. What else we got? I've got paragraph 3. The prince ends up going to their house. Paragraph 3, the stepmother lies. Good, good, good. There you go. Paragraph 4 reference to Cinderella and the Prince. Good. All right. So just like yesterday, you're going to do a compare and contrast, but you're going to be comparing dePaolos to Ye Xian. So you're going to be doing the Chinese versus the Mexico. So you're going to look for differences. So what's unique here for your Chinese story? And what's unique here for your story from Mexico? And then down here, for similarities, you're going to do what they have in common, or what's the same. And keep in mind, you're not going to just tell me blanketly what's going on. I want you to give me an explanation and then the textual evidence. Just like yesterday. Any questions on your compare and contrast? And I want 3, 3, 3. Okay? And then down here, same thing, is Adelita by Mexican author Tomie dePaola, a traditional rags to riches tale. Same setup as yesterday. Give me a claim. You're looking at 2 sentences, parents. Point. 1 to 2 sentences. Evidence should be 1. Reasoning should be around 2. When you're done, a solid paragraph is going to have around 12 sentences. Yes, Rah-rah, I grade it. So if you've been turning in work that is not high quality and what I know you're capable of doing, it does not get a high grade. Okay, so going back up. So again, your task for today, Reflex Math, get that green light. Prodigy, play for 30 minutes. We've just completed that one-time read-through. You're still responsible for 2 more. For writing, you need to do that prompt analysis and paragraph. FlipGrid day 4. And then science, make sure that you're doing CodeCombat. For today, you've got send an email, a video call, or write a letter to a loved one. Make sure you include 3 questions for them, what they've been up to, what you're grateful for. It's already up in FlipGrid. So you're looking for the one that has the letter attached to it. You're not actually sending the letter. It's just going to someone in your house. If you want to do like an email, then you can kind of send it to like me or someone that you know that way. But please, if you're going to write a letter, only to the people in your house. And you'll do just what you did the other days. You'll record a video. And your prompt for today is, today I wrote a letter or a message, or I sent a message or an email, or I called to my friend in Oklahoma, to my aunt in Alaska. I told them about XYZ, and I really appreciate how he or she fill in the blank. Any questions? All right. You're free to leave if you would like. I'm going to hang out until 11:15 and answer any questions that you might have. But other than that, you're free to go and go ahead and get started. So at 11:15, I will close down the stream. Perfect, Melanie. That means that you can record your video. Yay. So a good claim would probably be something that mentions the like multiculturalness of Cinderella. So like if you were looking at globally, Cinderella stories are very common and can be found across continents. And then go into that second point where it says in the Mexican story Adelita, and then go from there. If you are some of my Arabic speakers, I will show you the Islamic one because I need help with some of the words. Yeah, I think it's in my Kindle. Let me see. I think I have to download it. So, hold on.